Welcome your hosts, Caddy, Frink, and Sarah Kemp, as they lead discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
Well, hello, everybody out there in Radioland.
Hello.
I don't get to say that very often. That's kind of fun. Welcome to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution here on AM 950. What, Sarah?
The progressive radio station.
Yes, sirree, bub. Yes, they are. Hello. My name is Caddy Frink. Did I already say that?
I think you did.
Okay, well, just making sure you all know.
And I'm Sarah Kemp.
Yes, she is. And we represent
Minnesota Recovery Connection.
Gosh golly jeepers. What do we do at Minnesota Recovery Connection, Sarah?
Peer recovery services,
And?
Education, and advocacy.
Oh, my goodness. Are those the pillars of what we do at Minnesota Recovery
It
Connection?
is. Yes.
It is. So we are here on the fly. We had a guest, and unfortunately our guest took ill, so Sarah and I are going to shoot from the hip here.
We're really good at it.
Yeah, we really are. We haven't seen one another in a while, too, so I've been off doing conferences and various things here and there.
Important people things.
Well, things of all sizes and shapes. And so we get to have a little banter as well.
There we go.
Yes. So let's start it off the way we always do, Sarah.
Yes.
What's right with you today?
I think overall, just being happy. Just that general feeling of happiness. That's what's right with me today. The weather, relationship-wise, my cat is healthy again, which really was a struggle bus. That was a struggle bus for my emotional toll.
Yes.
As the cat mom.
Yes.
I was a little bit of a helicopter mom.
Were you a little bit of a helicopter mom?
I was so worried.
I know. We get worried about whatever creatures that we have in our life, be it human or four-legged. Or...
I saw a thing on Instagram, I think it was, that said your pets, why we're so attached to our pets is because they're supposed to be your children, but they came in pet form. I totally believe that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I've had a lot of children then because I've had a lot of cats.
But the care that you have.
Right, and the care, the concern, the companionship, and I think probably the best thing is that they have very low expectations.
They do. As long as I give them a squeeze treat once a day, they're good.
And a food bowl and some water, we're good to go.
Yes.
Maybe some snuggle time.
Caddy, what's right with you today?
I can kind of be on the same trajectory. I know, big words. The weather has been a little warm here in Minnesota. If anybody out there doesn't know, it's wet in the southern part of the United States. It's as dry as a I don't know.
Cactus?
Sure. But it's just, but my garden is flourishing.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, wow. I came home last night after having dinner with a very good friend, Chris, and I just wandered. I had to water some stuff because it's been very hot here. And so I wandered around, and I'm like, ooh, look at what you've done. Ooh, look at what you've done. Hello, my growing
So the heat
things.
does help a little bit.
Oh, very much so, yeah. And the sun, that's what they need. But they need the water.
Yeah.
So anyway.
90 degrees yesterday.
It was hot.
I was not a fan.
No.
I like warmth, but that's too much.
Yeah. So I'm grateful that it's summer. I get to have my garden because that's, my happy place.
Yes,
and
it is.
I get to plant pots and things and manicure things. So, yes, that's my happy space.
It's crazy what the weather will do for people's energy, their mood, their outlook on things. Mm-hmm. Just the shift that happens between when we're coming out of winter and now we're in summer.
Well, and, that can lead very easily into the conversation about how substance use disorder can be problematic when we get dreary days, cold days, things like that. And, you think about those light boxes that people have to try to turn
the sun
on.
lamps.
Sun lamps,
we
light
have one
boxes.
of those.
Yeah. And it's really interesting when you say that. How do we cope with the changes that are going on? And now people do get to go outside and get some sun and get that vitamin D, which kind of pumps up the old energy sources. So let's just all enjoy it.
Yes.
Even though it's a little hot. It's okay. It's okay.
I know you'd probably prefer the snow.
No, that wouldn't. I'd not prefer. Just I like heat in moderation as well as ice cold in moderation. I'll take all of the in between very happily.
I love fall and spring.
Yeah.
Because
You're a classic Minnesotan.
I am.
Yeah, for anybody outside the Minnesota area, that's a classic Minnesotan. But I do like okay, enough about the weather.
Sorry.
Wow. We just kind of went down, let's bring up the conversation. So Minnesota.
We're weather nerds, so it made sense.
We are kind of weather nerds, yeah. It's like, Sarah, what's going on? Caddy, what's going on? I don't know. Is there a storm coming? Yeah. So besides the weather, we have training coming up. We've got quite a few trainings. We've gotten a good partnership with Allina Health. We are doing utilizing some of their a location, possibly 2 locations. So we have a training. When do we have a training coming up, Sarah?
June 8th to the 12th.
Yes.
In person.
Yes. And it is going to be for the peer recovery specialist training, which predominantly Sarah and I have our hands in. We bring in other guests. It's something that Cynthia and I talked about last week about the importance of it and supporting people who want to do this work. And the thing about it is that we get to have a real central location. It's kind of cool. I don't know if anybody knows where the Midtown Global Market is, which is the old Sears building for anybody who's old enough. Behind that is all kinds of hospital systems, and Allina has a space there. And because we have a good partnership with them, we're using some of their space.
And Rachel told me there was a lot of good food in the
Midtown Global Market all over the place.
She's like, I might just pop over just to have lunch with you.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd love to have anybody, with that Minnesota Recovery Connection. Hey, and I'm going to toss this out for any of the volunteers. Let's just think about this, Sarah. Any of the volunteers for Minnesota Recovery Connection that want to do some hours, it might be a possibility to have you be a support staff in the classroom. So for those volunteers out there, now this is for the random human that wants to come and sit in the class. We got to be a little bit more refined on who can be sitting in, but it just made me think about it's an opportunity for people.
And we used to do that back in the day anyway.
We used to have volunteers.
Makes me sound old. Back in the day. No, that's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to give people the opportunity. Just because we've got a housing new space that we're in, which isn't allowing our volunteers to work with us right now. So we're trying to.
And I've been
creative.
Getting a lot of requests, and so this will be a good way to keep people involved. Yeah. Also, just to plug another volunteer opportunity, Minnesota Recovery Connection is going to be at Twin Cities Pride Festival.
When is that?
June 27th and 28th. I believe so. That's Saturday, Sunday.
That. Yes.
So I will get that on our website if you are interested in volunteering to reach out to me. So just another opportunity.
And I think, one of the things that we get the honor and the privilege to be at Pride Festival is because we know that people in all communities struggle with substance use disorder, but we can also probably very comfortably say that people that struggle in the marginalized groups, which the LGBTQIA community is designated as, will sometimes hide in their substance use because it's just an easy way. I remember back in the day, you said it earlier.
I did.
I had some of my best times at any of the clubs that, were the queer clubs, the gay clubs back in the day. And it's always a safe place to go because you're with
It's a safe place to
go, yeah. But also what is there? Booze and a lot of other stuff is like, riding underneath the surface.
A lot of desserts, huh?
Yeah, a lot of. I kind of like that. Yes, there's a lot of activity, shall we say? So when we get to go to Pride Festival, Andy Otto, who is the Pride organizer for Pride.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
The Pride Festival is Pride Festival organization. Why am I drawing a blank?
I think that's what they're just.
It's called Pride Festival. Yes. So anyway,
Twin Cities Pride Fest.
Yeah, Twin Cities Pride Fest. Sorry, but Andy Otto, I love and adore him. He's we think designating a real nice spot for people who are struggling with or want to find more information out about what recovery can look like. So we'll continue to yammer about that on the other side of the break. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution.
Here on AM 950.
Presented to you by Minnesota Recovery Connection. So catch you on the other side. Thank you for listening.
There's no home. And there's one thing that I've learned through this year of being alone.
now we're coming back. Here we are, Caddy, Frink, and
Sarah Kemp,
And what are we representing?
Minnesota Recovery Connection.
And what is our show title?
Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution.
Woohoo! Recovery does work.
I passed the test.
Yes, you did.
As
You
the
passed the
co-host.
test. Yes. I want to just correct myself. We just get caught up in our words sometimes. So Twin Cities Pride does the Pride Festival that Minnesota Recovery Connection will be part of when we are at the end of June, the 27th and 28th. It's a great place for people to go to, of course, be them all day long, but also you can find spaces, not just the beer garden. You can find a recovery space.
And get resources.
Yes, as well as there's treatment centers. There's all kinds of places and spaces there. And I think what's important is that the recovery community sometimes feels like it has to find its super specific space. Like I've got to go to a recovery event and I've got to go to this sober space and that sober space. There's a lot of places where we are all over the place. The people who are in recovery, we're everywhere. So it's always like bring a friend, right? Mm-hmm. But you are not alone.
No. And you and I will be doing a live show at Pride Festival.
I know.
And then you can come talk to us and meet us and see our lovely faces.
Because there's a meet and greet.
There is. I think we're doing it right after our show.
At 12 o'clock?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So that'll be interesting.
Yes.
Yes, come to the FM 107 progressive radio station that is at the grounds of Pride Festival, and they'll have their whole show gamut going on all day. But they're having a meet and greet.
Yes.
So exciting.
We'll remind you as it gets closer, but I wanted to say it before I forgot.
Yes. Because what we're trying to do is, knowing that Sarah and I are both excited about summer, and summer brings people out of the house, it also brings people to gatherings that have alcohol and other substances available.
Many desserts.
Yeah. Okay. She's going to use that one, y'all. But this is a dessert we need to push off to the side. But reminding everybody that there are a lot of things that you can do that aren't involved in substances and aren't involved in alcohol. And you get to say, nope, that's okay. I don't want any.
And then you can remember the whole day then.
And the night.
Not,
Yeah, because sometimes that's certainly what
happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's what happened to me back in the day. So why don't you talk about the Walk for Recovery? Because it's all the way in September, but folks,
we're not that far away.
We're already doing a lot of planning around. Why don't you give the folks that are listening so we can talk about all these events that are going on?
So September 12th, which is a Saturday, from 10 until 3, we as in Minnesota Recovery Connection will be at the state capitol grounds. I almost said fairgrounds. At the state capitol, we'll have a variety of organizations from the recovery community. So you can come there, get resources for yourself, for your loved ones, whatever that looks like in your life. There'll be 10 food trucks. So that's the most I think we've had.
I know.
10.
We got a couple of newbies this year, which is super exciting.
So come check out the food. There'll be a DJ and just a wonderful day to connect, be in recovery, show the world or Minnesota that recovery is possible. We take the giant picture, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, the giant picture on the Capitol steps before the walk starts. So it's just a great day to show that recovery is possible, people.
And so many people are in recovery that you don't know that are in recovery. And I think the other thing that really I want anybody to know that if you are part of an organization that wants to represent there, we are always going to accept sponsorships. We've got many different levels of sponsorship that are available for people, which means you get a primo space.
Yes.
And you get advertisement on all of our social media. You get possibly your name on a T-shirt.
Possibly. And if you're fancy enough, I think a couple weeks ago when Darnell and I and Eli were on the show, Darnell ran through the sponsorship packets. Mm-hmm. But I believe if you're platinum, you get to be on the show with us.
Look at that. How exciting.
So I'm just saying, if you want to be on the radio,
yes,
it could be a big incentive.
It could be your motivation
you
for it.
You can hang out with us, too.
Well, that might scare them away. But I think what the interesting part and the important part is that this event is about bringing our recovery community together and all of its like roots. There's so many people that are in recovery in all kinds of different spaces and places, people who support people who are in recovery, organizations. And it isn't just that the name that has recovery in it. I mean, with the Department of Corrections there, they have the largest treatment in the world
Yes,
because
they
they
do.
have those who are incarcerated, but those who also use substances inside that. We have all kinds of organizations that show up that are part of the community that builds around us. There's, I can't name any right now because I don't have the list in front of me.
I didn't come prepared for that part.
I know we kind of like off the cuff since our guest had to take away from us, so we're kind of pinch hitting here. But the important part is that we want people to show up to know that they are welcome. They get to be themselves. They get to have their best moments talked about and sometimes their worst moments talked about. They get to find new people, new friends, new spaces and places that they get to find community.
Yes.
Because that's really the biggest thing about when somebody is trying to find their recovery. They have to sometimes leave some community behind, even sometimes some family members, and they have to build a new community. And that's not easy.
No. And so, no, I imagine it. Sorry, my brain just stopped.
Yeah.
No, but it's a great way to meet new people and advocate for recovery. And I will also be looking for volunteers for the Walk for Recovery because we couldn't put on this walk without our volunteers. So I will be sending out and putting on the website all of that information soon so people can start signing up, putting it on their calendars, things like that. So a call out to volunteers.
Yes. Well, and the other part about being a volunteer is that what you do is you build community with people that understand you and understand. You can go volunteer at various places, but sometimes you keep what your substance use used to be and your recovery journey not necessarily on the surface. This is a place where you get to talk all about it all the time if you want.
And be who you are.
And be
no judgment, no nothing.
Take off the cape is what I say.
Yeah.
Because back in the day when I wasn't as comfortable talking about my alcoholism, because that's what I called it, because that word was a little bit, it turned people's heads, not necessarily turned people off, but it turned their heads. And I would always say to have my cape on because out in the real world, I had a cape on to kind of protect me. I had to watch my
because you didn't know what people were going to say, think.
Yeah. And then when I walked into my AA group, I would say I could take off my cape and I could be very real. So we want to have an environment where people can come and say, you know what, today's a really poopy day. And it's like, okay, tell me about it, rather than going someplace and maybe contemplating another way of escaping.
Another option.
Yeah.
And you get a free T-shirt if you volunteer.
Yay!
So,
yeah.
who doesn't love a free
T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yes. We've got a great design this year, too. It's our new logo, so the color is going to be really fun. So I was at a seminar yesterday.
It's a hard left turn.
Well, it's kind of in the same conversation because what it's talking about services, and the topic of the conference isn't where I'm going to go. But there was a quote that I really thought was important. What the conference was about was occupational identity and how do you identify yourself at work. We all wear our work as kind of like our cloak. Like I am a director of programs. You are a
director of community relations.
But we are so much more than that. And that's another way that we can talk about all the different intersections that people have.
And when she brought this up, I gave her a look because I didn't know what she was talking about.
Well, and I didn't. Part of the learning yesterday was, what is this wonderful, very funny, fabulous person talking about? And it's really about how do we show up authentically at work, show up in the best way that we can, understanding that not everybody's going to have a great day. Mm-hmm. And how do we do that? And that there are many services out there that you might not understand, identify with. Like somebody might happen upon this conversation on AM 950 and think, recovery, what is that? Who are these goobers talking? And
your new best friends.
Yeah, exactly. And we say Minnesota Recovery Connection. And what are our pillars, Sarah?
Peer-to-peer services, advocacy, and education.
And the person listening might go, what does that have to do with me? And this quote that I got yesterday, I don't know its origin, but it says, every service is a service someone needs. And I was like, wow.
Not some things. Everything was created because there was a need for it.
And I think it's such a simple statement, but it's so profound at the same time, because there are services out there I've never needed to use, but if they weren't out there, the people that I now know use them. And I'm going to just go with something that just came to my mind, which is domestic abuse spaces. Mm-hmm. Something that I have never personally needed to ask for help from, but in our work, we hear about it all the time. And so it's like a service was developed because somebody needed it. Just like Minnesota Recovery Connection, the recovery community needed to have services developed so that people could feel that they had a place to go.
And recovery, just the different varieties of recovery community organizations too. Because we each do something different.
Yeah. And so do the treatment centers.
Yep.
12 steps, Wellbriety, smart recovery, all those different...
Harm reduction.
Harm reduction. Huge conversation about harm reduction. Talked about Justice Impacted yesterday. There's a service out there for everybody. And what we need to remember, and that is if there's something going on in a community and it's like, why is that here? Go ask the originators of a business. You know, why is there a Latino grocery store in your neighborhood? And you're like, but I don't know anybody who's Latino. Well, walk in the store and find out who's shopping there. Or there is a clinic in your neighborhood that deals with harm reduction. And you're like, but why is there something like that in my neighborhood? Well, because there are people that need the services in your neighborhood.
It's a great time to educate yourself. Mm-hmm. Take the time to learn more about what's going on in your neighborhood, then you know if there's things that you don't understand.
Well, in my neighborhood, before Simpson House reopened up, which was a homeless shelter and shelter in many different ways, we had a homeless shelter, and that's what it was called. I hate to use that terminology, but for unsheltered individuals. And the neighborhood was like, why do we have this? And it's like, because there are people that are unsheltered in our neighborhoods. And they're like, but we don't want them here. And I'm like, but they're here anyway.
I was going to say...
this is a space where somebody can go and get the food, maybe get the care, get the peer services, get the things that they need.
And resources they need to figure life out.
Yeah, or at least just have a place to rest their head for a night.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that came out of this conversation yesterday was, how do we help the youth? And there was this gentleman whose name was Kevin, and, Ivan. And Ivan looked at one of the audience members and said, how do we help the youth? How do we help the youth? And he looked directly into this person's eyes and said, that's going to take something from you. And then somebody said, well, what about the school systems? And he said, schools are for learning. They're not for doing that job. We as a community need to step into these places to help youth or to help people. It was a real call to action for, if there's a need, then why don't you be part of
the answer
or at least
try
or be involved? Mm-hmm. Ironically, I got a little keychain in the mail yesterday, and it said, thanks for volunteering. And it has no address where it came from. I'm like,
where did you volunteer?
Well, I think it came from a neighborhood association.
Oh,
I think, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like I was like tearing apart the card. I'm like, where's this coming from? But I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. But I volunteer periodically for them, and that's showing up for my neighborhood for the needs that they have going on. And so the idea is that if there's a need, we can't expect other organizations to do everything. If you have any kind of buy-in to what's going on in your community, step into that space. If only, what did you say, Sarah?
What did I say?
For education.
For education.
She can't see me on the other side of the mic, y'all, because her height difference is quite significant, so she couldn't see me.
No, I couldn't. Yes, education is important, and also wanting to be part of the solution or trying to be part of the solution, because that's how we make the world a better place.
And that's literally how Minnesota Recovery Connection became something. The originators of the organization said, this substance use disorder, the substance abuse issue, we got to find another way. We got to find different ways that we can help people, because not everybody fits into treatment. Not everybody fits into 12-step programs. Not everybody fits into anything. They just need to do it their own way. So Minnesota Recovery Connection came up with, hey, we've got these things like people that look like you, sound like you.
Peer services?
What's that?
Oh, my goodness.
And that is the development. Somebody saw a need for a group of individuals, and here we are, us 19 years later, doing the same amount of work. I know, it just rattled your brain, didn't I? And the people that have been part of this organization and the current people that are part of it still believe that the services that we offer are because people need it.
Because they do need it. If it's not apparent, it is in its own way. Mm-hmm. Things do slow down in the summer, just around our organization when it comes to people needing services right away. Things kind of pick up in the fall and the winter when the weather gets poor.
Back to the weather, everybody.
I know, I'm sorry. But no, it's one of those things that no matter what time of year it is, knowing that we'll still be there no matter what, that's the important thing. Mm-hmm. That we're not going to be temporary.
Nope.
We'll always
find
a way.
Yeah. Well, and, we just did a conversation with one of the organizations in St. Paul, the Continuum of Care Center, run by Eric Bacon. He is somebody who is out in the community all the time. That's like the essence of their business. And Nellie, his second hand in the organization, said the way that you can keep going in your organization is to keep listening to what people are saying and asking for. That's how you continue to stay alive. And I was like, pow.
So using your active listening skills, huh?
Yes, and also hearing what community's saying, because this issue might not be right in front of you, but if you hear it enough times from enough people, you're like, I think I've heard that. I've heard that before. Maybe that's the service somebody needs to walk in. And that's what their organization has continued to just move along, because they started about 7 years after Minnesota Recovery Connection opened.
You know what I just thought of?
What did you just thought of?
When we're in class, and on the last side, we always tell people, if people had money, they should open up a place for people to bring their pets when they go to treatment, because a lot of people don't want to go to treatment because of their pets. Mm-hmm. I think the last class we had, someone did that. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me the name because I didn't come prepared for that part. Mm-hmm. But there was a need for people to be able to bring their pets somewhere safe, so that they can get the help they need, and then they can be reunited.
If you listen to the community enough, you will hear what needs to be done. And it doesn't mean that you can fix it, but we want to make sure that we listen. And that's what that happened there. Because I have been preaching that same statement for the last 5 years. I'm like, anybody who's got an idea, if you need an idea, I got one for you. And it so happened that somebody finally figured it out, because you need money, you need a space, you need to get licensed, you need to do all kinds of things to do any kind of business. But if there's a need, then you generally can find those different pieces of the puzzle, because it will come together if you have the right motivation to do it. And in this case, we want people to not hold back from getting their recovery journey started because they don't want to leave their cat, their dog, their lizard, their fish, their snake, because they don't know what's going to happen to it if they just give it to a friend. I'm using air quotes.
Because that's not always a good idea.
Not a good idea, because we don't know how healthy that person is either. Yep. So this is a great example where there's a need. Somebody 5 years later came up with it, but they came up with it. And so the services that are out there, somebody needs. And it's such an important component to what Minnesota Recovery Connection does, which is people that are struggling with their substance use disorder need to have somebody to talk to.
And just have that listening ear, the non-judgmental ear, the cheerleader, motivator. Mm-hmm. All of those things wrapped up in one.
And potentially a ton of resources.
Yes.
And, again, what I took away from the event that I was at yesterday, the conference, was all the different organizations that are out there. Our big topics right now are harm reduction, reducing the harm, getting Narcan out there. Statistically, the overdose rate is going down because of Narcan is available, but that doesn't mean people aren't still overdosing. They're not just, I hate to use that word, they're not dying.
Well, and it's more than just opiates now.
Right.
There's
so many more chemicals.
Together.
Yeah, there's like a Frankenstein chemistry going on out there right now. But it's just interesting, the conversations around harm reduction, the supplies, having spaces and places where people who are in transition going. We know we've got a housing issue in our communities, people coming in and out of the justice impacted communities, having those transitions, people getting out of treatment. Where do they go after that? So what we call sober housing or recovery housing. There's a lot of opportunity in communities to do it the right way.
Yep.
Having been sadly in the stream of bad actions, we'll just put it that way. So again, we're sort of having a conversation about why it's important to care for people.
Because it just is. Because what if it were you? What would you want?
Ooh, drop the mic, girl. Well, don't drop the mic. Gotta get very loud.
No, because then Patrick might be mad at me. But for real, what if this happened to you? What would you want, and why can't you be that for somebody else? Mm-hmm.
Bam. Well, bringing up yet another good topic, and that is a lot of people don't even understand their struggle that's going on. Another conversation that took place, because y'all know that when you go to a conference, they have to do all these icebreakers. We had like 15 minutes of icebreaker. About 25 minutes of icebreakers.
That's too much.
Well, poor Darnell, who is very much an introvert.
He is not.
Every 7 minutes having to go to another group of people, he was about ready to just bail.
That's not his jam
Not
at
his
all.
jam. But in these conversations, there's such a richness because you find out about other organizations. And one of the conversations that came up with a woman who was roughly my age, in the idea that there's a retirement time frame somewhere between 55 and 70. People will retire from whatever their work is. And we've talked about it before, but I think it's another space to think about is when you retire, you've been working for 30, 40, 50 years. All of a sudden, if you don't have a host of crafts and hobbies and activities that you do,
then what?
Then you might just sit around and maybe have some cocktails. And then you might have more cocktails. And you never had a drinking problem before, or you were just socially drinking, and all of a sudden now you're bored and you just sit around, or you find some other substance. Because definitely I've seen many mature adults that have used meth. I mean, you've seen it in our classes.
Yes, I have. I had to think about that for a minute.
Yeah, because it's easily accessible and it's cheap.
Yeah, it can be. Mm-hmm.
Depending upon it. So, when we talk about substance use disorder, it's not just the people on the street begging on the corners. It can be your neighbor.
And Wendy Hack, she's one of our certified peer recovery specialists / grant writer. She goes up to the senior recovery center once a month, twice a month, I forget. And she works with participants from the senior recovery center on their recovery because that's an undertapped market.
Yeah, no, a group of individuals. Absolutely.
I mean, I feel like we don't talk enough about substance use when it comes to older folks.
Yeah, you better be careful.
That's why I looked at you. I was like, I don't want to say.
I'm not a senior girl, but it's my time frame somewhere between your late 50s, early 60s. I was part of the 80s, girl. I was having a whole lot of fun, and we had a whole lot of action going on. But the drugs and what was going on then was very different to what's going on now and what's available. And I think possibly a person who's in that spectrum of being a little bored might have a youthful nephew or something somewhere that might expose you to something, and you don't know what you're ingesting.
Nowadays, you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. Until you know, and then you do better.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I was
Seely Dudley.
waiting for you to say that.
So we will keep this rambling conversation going on after this break. We really appreciate you sticking with us.
Yes, we do.
Because we are here to just help and support the recovery community and those who love the people. Thank you.
Being alone.
Well, I just got shocked out of my seat with that music coming in there. Hi, welcome back to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution here on AM 950, the
Progressive radio station.
brought to you by
Minnesota Recovery Connection.
Yay! So one of the interesting things that we get to do in the month of September, which is what, Sarah?
Recovery Month.
For the entire country, September is the recovery month.
And a very event-filled month.
Yes. What are we doing besides the Walk for Recovery on September 12th?
So on September 15th, we have the Rally Caps for Recovery, which is we partner with the Twins, the Minnesota Twins. And that night is all about recovery. We have a speaker before the game starts talking about their recovery journey, I believe. And then we have someone from the recovery community that throws out the first pitch. And we have certain sections of the Twin Stadium that is dedicated to us. They don't serve any alcohol in our sections. Side note, we can't stop people from, like, if they bring their friends, we can't stop people from all that. Mm-hmm. But they don't serve in our area. It's dollar hot dog night.
Woohoo!
Who doesn't love a hot dog?
Who doesn't like a done? Yes.
And let's see, what else? Oh, and it's just a fun night to be in the recovery community, enjoying a baseball game against the Yankees.
Again, this year.
Because
Yes.
Darnell said we lost last time.
Yes, we did.
So redemption.
Yes.
Come on, Twins.
Okay. Sarah's our sports enthusiast at the other side of the table.
I don't
here.
know baseball, but I know all the other ones.
Okay, there you go. Yes. Again.
And you can buy your tickets now.
Yes, buy your tickets now.
They're $16. We don't send them out, and by we, I mean Darnell does not send them out until the end of August, early September. So if you buy them now, just know that you won't get them until end of August,
And it's
early
an
September.
e-ticket. It's an e-ticket.
Yes, it's an e-ticket.
Yeah, it's not a physical paper ticket. Yeah.
It's through the
Twins.
MLB ballpark app,
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
Yeah.
But just know that if you do buy them now, don't get all antsy if you don't get them right away. You will get them. It just won't be till the end of August, early September.
There we go. Whew.
We don't want people to lose them.
Right.
And
yeah.
then say, I never got it, but
Yeah, and then we got to go hunting for people's individual tickets. So we'll keep this very well advertised and let you know that you can buy your tickets now so that you can make sure that you have them. You can buy additional ones as it gets closer. But again, it's another activity that people can do, and understanding that, yes, there's alcohol served there, but there's also a place where you can go where you're going to be more likely to be near people that have the same mindset, which is, that's not what I want to do. You do you, but we get to be around a bunch of folks.
and you can walk around the ballpark and just
And it's kid friendly, it's people friendly. You get to move around. There's all kind of food. I mean, Lord help you. If you want a hot dog, you get a hot dog for $1. But Lord, there's a whole lot of food
I was going to say
on there.
and I think there's new foods this year. Mm-hmm. So
Yep. So we're all driven by food.
pretty much. You know what's so crazy?
What?
Is that I was in the office the other day and Rachel and Patricia and I were talking about food.
Yeah.
And how when we were early in our recovery, food became not so much an addiction, but just food became more of a driving force. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's so true. Even to this day, I'm like food centric, but not in a bad way, but just.
Mm-hmm. Well, because our interests were so completely diverted to whatever it was that food was an essential thing. Now it can be an enjoyable thing.
It is. I made sheet pan chicken fajitas last night. I was so proud of myself.
Oh, I need to know that recipe.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, thanks.
But no, just being able to have fun with it again, because then we got into the topic of food addiction and all the other substances or addictions that happen, and just how we need more conversation, education on the other ones, like gaming, phones, television, all the others.
The addictions, gambling, racing, sexting, texting. I mean, there's so
Can you
many.
say that word on the radio? The sexting one.
Well, I think you can.
Oh, I
because
don't know.
It's a thing.
I don't know what the rules rules.
Yes, I got a thumbs up from Patrick to Superman.
I just don't want us to get in trouble.
As long as I don't use any profanity, I think I'm fine, which I have to hold back on occasion. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of addictions that are out there that, and this is where you have to find the space and the place and the service that's needed.
I think that's where I was trying to get to, and then I had like multiple squirrel moments in my brain. Mm-hmm. But just knowing that, going back to that quote that you said, services are because people need the services. And so if people have issues with all the other plethora of things that someone can be addicted to, find the service, because if it's out there, if someone's struggling with it, hopefully there's a resource for you.
Well, and we can usually kind of navigate to find you a space or a place where you need to have that that additional support. Peer-to-peer work in general, even if you're not from a substance use disorder mindset, it's still, addiction has all of its same characteristics. You're after that dopamine rush. You're after that feeling
you're escaping reality.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yes. Or trying to refill a reality that you don't have. And so, again, there's peer-to-peer work in many different spaces and places. Mental health is a huge space where peer work is so beneficial, because if you are struggling with some sort of mental health issue, if somebody else can sit beside you and go, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I've been through some stuff, and it's okay to not feel okay. And it's okay to just want to be better, whatever that looks like to you.
And that's the beauty of peer support specialists, because they work in the mental health realm, and so they're a great support for people that are struggling with mental health issues.
Yep.
We are peer recovery specialists, so we help in the recovery field.
But they do play in the same
sandbox. They do, but I just don't want people to get confused.
No. And, being part of a team of people that's sort of putting together a little bit of that combo platter as an availability, and that, we can go on for days because we do this, and this is our passion. This is our passion place. Both Sarah and I, we want people to be better, happier, and take care of themselves. But then also we need to take care of ourselves, because sometimes we can go down a road where we're like, okay, we just want to help the world. We want this service and that service. But you know what? We know what we do best. Now what we can do is we can hear what somebody else's struggle is. Can we find them the resource that's necessary for them? And then maybe we learn something from that same relationship, building that community out.
Because we do not need to save the world.
Well, we can't.
No.
Because we can't do it effectively.
No, and we're not superwoman.
No, we are super,
but we're
and
not.
We are women, but we cannot always be super women, because that doesn't always work.
We don't have that cape.
No, we do not have that cape. So as we wrap up this show, we kind of went all over the map, but we want to help people build community. We want people to know that Minnesota Recovery Connection is a space or a place where we can help you find community, as well as we can help you through peer-to-peer services. I can educate the bejesus out of you on compassion fatigue, being a peer recovery specialist. We can talk about harm reduction. We can talk about a lot of different topics around substance use disorder and the communities that are involved in it. So know that we are available for you.
Or if you just want to talk about random things.
We're okay with that too.
Because recovery all the time can get boring. So if you just want to talk about the TV show you watched last night, I'm all ears.
Okay.
I love talking about TV shows.
Because she's a Hallmark girl.
I
don't know what summer brings for Hallmark. I'm sure there's got to be something.
Road trip movies.
Oh, no. Oh, Lord. Oh, help me. Help me. Help me.
I told Eric texted me over the weekend, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, Gus and I are watching a Hallmark movie. And he's like, poor Gus.
I would have to say that as well.
I was like, he sat down. Gus sat down on my lap, and he
was watching it. I watch crime shows, so who am I to judge? But I will.
No, it's okay. I watch all the Law and Orders and all that stuff too.
I go for real crime. Gotta go real crime.
But the ID channel.
All of them. The interesting thing about, though, is so many times not Hallmark movies, they generally don't have substance use disorder.
They do not.
But, when we talk about when you talk about individuals that struggle with substance use, there's so much justice impact stuff. And I'm just passionate about that group of people. I've said that before, and I'll say it again.
Or mental health.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to this very random show. We will have the guests that we have missed 2 or 3 times, and that is not to make that person feel guilty. We have to take care of our physical and emotional health. So she will be on at some point.
Yes, she will.
So we do want to thank you for listening to Minnesota Recovery Connection. We are a nonprofit organization, always looking for support from the community. If you can donate, go to minnesotarecovery.org and hit our donation box. If you want services, you can go to our website. But reach out because we're here for you. Thank you for listening.
Have a good weekend.